So we've all been lured in by the idea of passive income, of sitting on a beach like this and watching notifications come in like this and having it be that simple. But passive income isn't quite like that. But I do have some really great steps for you today about how to start adding passive income into your business by creating and launching courses. If you are new to my channel, hello, and welcome. My name is Kolbye, and I am a business coach for service-based entrepreneurs. And on this channel here, we talk about everything marketing, entrepreneurship, sales, building a business via social media, as well as the digital nomad lifestyle, because I also travel the world full time. And if you are excited for this video today, don't forget to like and subscribe to help support the channel, as we love creating content for you guys about all of these different topics. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to create a course and incorporate it into your business in order to start to create some passive income. This is also a topic that I talk a lot about on a very regular basis over on my Instagram, where I do mini trainings almost daily, and on my podcast, Laptop Lifestyle Podcast, where I have a lot of in-depth and high-level episodes about creating a course, scaling your business to 50, 100K months, hiring a team, and all of these amazing topics. You can check them out here and in the links below. Now, let's get started on course creation. So with course creation and adding passive income to your business, there's really kind of 5 different areas that we have to consider. It's not just creating the course and putting it out there and saying, hey, all right, come by, come have the leads come in. So let me tell you about these 5 different areas, and then we'll go into a couple different tips for each. So as I mentioned these 5 things, I kind of want you to picture these like a wheel, right? Or a circle, is that all of these 5 different things really fuel each other to continue to allow you to bring in more people that are purchasing your course, and again, continually to purchase in the background. So passive income isn't about not doing any work, right? There's still a lot of work that has to be done to create passive income. However, it's a very different type of income where you're not directly trading your time for money, right? Like, I'm not having a client say, hey, I want to hire you to help me with Instagram, and I'm building their Instagram. So you are able to scale up to the masses and have your time be less, but the disillusion that passive income requires no work eventually, or that you kind of set it and forget it, is something that, unfortunately, I'm going to always give it to you straight here, that is not the case. So that's why I want you to think about these 5 different steps as a circle, because there are different things that we have to do to kind of fuel the continual cycle of people purchasing your course, and again, making money while we sleep, right? So the first thing is the course itself. The course build is obviously going to be a huge, super exciting project, and we'll give a couple tips on that in a minute. But even just the course itself is something you're going to have to update. You want to continually get feedback on, and you may even want to make another one. The second step in the wheel here is going to be lead gen and sales. So in order to make more sales, we have to bring in more leads. So this has to be something that we are constantly doing to fuel the cycle here. The third step is going to be marketing and positioning and content, because it's not enough to just bring in leads, right? We have to actually market the course that we are creating somehow. There's a lot of different ways, right? And we have to position it in the way, and typically we're creating content as online entrepreneurs so that we can guide people along a buyer's journey. So for those of you that do know a little bit of information about courses and selling passively, typically these 2 steps, 2 and 3 with lead gen and marketing and content, that's also going to essentially be what makes up your funnel if you do end up creating a funnel. Now, if the word funnel really overwhelms and scares you, don't worry, you don't have to create a funnel in order to make money off of your course, but also funnels aren't as scary as you think. The 4th thing in our process is going to be the transformation and experience. So again, the course itself is really important. There's a lot of different steps that we need to go into to look at creating this course to be the best thing possible. But I have this as a whole separate step in our process, because the actual experience that someone has inside of your container, even if it's completely passive, like you're not live in the program at all, that's absolutely pivotal to this continuing to be purchased, right? The transformation people are actually able to achieve versus what we plan and hope that they'll have in planning the course can be different. And so continuing to make sure that the experience inside of your course, that the results are coming in, that the testimonials are coming in, that's something, again, that fuels the cycle, because people are also going to tell other people, hey, this was the most amazing Instagram course, come check it out. Now, the last thing in the process is a brand awareness. So technically you can build brand awareness through marketing, right? Through word of mouth, through all of these other things. But the reason that it's a separate step in this circle that we're building in this cycle is because with a course, if you really want to create passive income from this, it's again, not something we can just kind of slap up and throw into the background. You really want to create almost its own brand surrounding the product that you've created to generate more and more and more like eyeballs and people coming to see this. While there's a lot of different lead gen strategies we can do, we really want this to be well known and become this go-to product eventually for people to come to. And that requires a heavy focus on building brand awareness and expanding your visibility. Now, before you click tuning out of the video because you're like, whoa, that's a lot of things, I'm just giving you an overview here to give you a couple different nuggets to chew on, things to chew on, bites, whatever. Y'all, if you've been on my channel long enough, you know I'm terrible with analogies and little like word phrases there. But anyways, if that sounds like a lot, don't worry. That's kind of just this overview that I wanted you to have a big picture of this course creation process, because it's not just creating the course, it's continuing to fuel the leads coming in, the sales, people getting nurtured, and people spreading the word and having a good experience and purchasing. So let's break it down into some really simple and very easy steps for you to take away to go ahead and start this process, because courses are amazing. Courses are super exciting. They are a great way, whether you're just simply a course creator and this is like what you want to do, or maybe you're a service provider and you're kind of burned out, tapped out, you don't have any more space and you want to be able to expand your income. Courses are fabulous for this. So let's talk about kind of one of the first big topics that impacts you having a successful course and really starting to generate a lot of revenue from your course, and that's your audience. So this is one of the pieces, right, that, you know, we're going to bring in lead gen to continually build our audience, etc. But you do actually need an audience to be able to sell the course. So this is a big misconception that I hear from especially a lot of newer entrepreneurs is they're like, right away, I want to create a course, I want passive income, go. But the thing is that you do actually need an audience. Do you need, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people? No, but courses are typically meant to serve the masses. And so in order for us to really, truly profit off of this, it's going to be really beneficial for you to build up an audience first. So unlike being a service-based entrepreneur, which is why I recommend starting there, and you can check out this video up here where I talk about 8 different steps for starting your own service-based online business. But I recommend starting with a service-based online business because you can start charging packages for, you know, $500, $1,000, $2,000, even beyond that. And in order to make a very sustainable income, you only need a couple of people to say yes. Versus courses are typically a little bit lower priced and they're not as intimate. So you're going to need a little bit more touch points and contact and trust with your audience in a larger volume in order to be able to create the same level of profit as service providers. So do you need a massive, massive audience? No, but do you need a good sized audience to really, truly start to profit off of courses? Yes. So if you're sitting here and you're really excited about a course that you want to create, one thing that I would recommend doing if you don't already have an audience is either A, start with some services that you're offering, or B, really, really focus for a couple of months on building up your audience while you're creating the course and doing the rest of the things in the background. So let's shift into actually creating the course and a couple of tips here, because creating a course is a very like in-depth experience where we don't just want to say, ooh, okay, I know a lot about this topic. Let me just throw everything I know into some modules and workbooks and bam, that's it, right? We don't just want to give people all of our knowledge about any topic under the sun. There's a couple of key elements that you need to consider in order for your course to be successful and thus very profitable. One of them is that your course needs to solve a very clear problem. And that also will take us into understanding who the course is for, because they need to have that problem and we need to be able to solve it, right? So the course needs to be somewhat specific about solving that specific problem. If in doubt, if you are like, I'm going to teach someone everything under the sun about all marketing channels, right? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, like all of the things, right? That's a lot of work to do. That's a lot of transformations to cover. And so typically most courses are going to be more successful when they have a little bit of a more narrow focus, because someone is able to say, yes, I have that problem. Great. This feels achievable. This feels attainable. And this course sounds like it's going to solve my problem of just learning Instagram per se. The other thing you need to consider in as far as what topic you're choosing for your course and what actually goes inside of it is you need to actually think about, okay, here's the problem. Here's the transformation that I'm helping people achieve. Now, what is my process? What is my framework for taking people through in order to reach that transformation? And this is going to look very different depending on what topic your course is about. But we need to be very strategic about different learning styles and what people actually need to know in order to accomplish the transformation. So it's not just information, right? It's not just passively sitting there and consuming what you're saying. You also need to help people learn the information, learn how to apply the information, and then actually prompt and encourage and create an environment for them to be able to execute the information in order to get the transformation. So my steps for you in starting to plan out all of this information in your course is build it in reverse. So do a little bit of market research as well to figure out and validate and make sure, does my potential idea and topic actually solve the problem? Okay, yes. Is it something people have an issue with? They have this problem they're interested in. Maybe we go out and do a little market research for. Okay, yes. So then we're going to identify the specific transformation we're helping people achieve and solve that problem and work backwards. So go ahead and do an entire brain dump of everything you know on that topic. Start there, even though we don't want to put all that in the course. And then we're going to start to really work through, you can even visualize it, test it out yourself, of what are the steps and what is the process then to achieve that. A really good gut check question for you as you're creating your course is this actually essential? Is this actually needed for the transformation? Because one of the biggest mistakes I see course creators make that actually hinders them making more sales is they put too much information in a course. And when you do that, people get really overwhelmed. They don't finish the course. They don't actually achieve the results. Therefore, they're not going to continue telling people about it because they felt like it didn't work. When in actuality, you just put too much inside of there. So people are paying you to buy a course because it is all the need to know information in one place, and it's the quickest, easiest path to get what they want. So the next part of course creation is you, of course, actually have to create the course, and then we have to host it somewhere where we're able to actually deliver it to the people that are buying it. So this gets into a little bit of the tech side, but I would recommend creating your course with a variation of videos that could be face-to-face, they could be with slides, they could be with workbooks or resources. But again, don't just create a slide or a workbook to create a slide or a workbook. Really be intentional about what do people need to have the best learning experience and to be able to apply and execute what I am teaching them. From all of that, then we're going to look at tech as far as where you are actually delivering and hosting your course. So I recommend using a course hosting platform such as Kartra or Kajabi or Thinkific. Those are 3 really great platforms that you can use, and that's where you can actually upload all of your course information that when people purchase, they're able to just get a login to that Course Hub platform and consume all of your amazing content. So one little bonus secret tip that I will tell you on this, especially if this is your first course, which I'm assuming it is if you're watching this video, is we want to be professional, but also don't get into the perfectionist realm. So you can still create an amazing course and run a beta round of it or run a practice round of it, even just in a Facebook group where you upload videos and PDFs into there and get some feedback from your first round of course takers before you start to invest in setting it up in a Course Hub platform. So again, fine line between being professional, knowing your stuff, having everything that you need, but you can still kind of do a quick and dirty version of your course to get it out there, get some people in, validate your ideas and offers, refine before you invest in some of the more expensive course platforms. So now that you've created your course, we still haven't gotten to the point of actually creating passive income, right? Because we now have to market it. So if you go back to the circle with the different steps that we had, part of that marketing is acquiring lead gen and actually marketing, positioning, creating all of that content. And honestly, even building brand awareness is a big part of marketing as well. So before we get to any of that, of creating content or funnels or any of that, you really need to get super crystal clear on who your course is for. Because in order for us to market and position the course accurately, you have to really get inside of the heads and the brains of the people that are going to be purchasing this in order to take them along a customer journey. So do some research and really make sure you're validating both your offer and who the ideal client is, so that you're able to understand what are their problems right now, how does my course fit into that, why is it that they desire the transformation that I'm helping them achieve, and what are some different pieces of content and things that I can speak to them about that are really going to draw them in about what my course is about and how that fits into their lives. The other important thing about this is not just knowing who your ideal client is, but actually being able to validate what you've created. So a really great way to validate your course outline, your course idea, or even once you've started creating the course, is to get some beta testers in, like I mentioned before. So this is just essentially someone or a couple of people who come in for either free or discounted, and typically it's before the course is fully polished and finalized and that expectation is set up front, and the exchange for the lower or free price point is that they're giving you feedback in a much more extensive way for you to be able to understand and validate the different pieces of your course. Now, the other part to marketing, other than identifying your ideal client and beta testing and getting some validation, is we actually need to launch our course. We need to kind of put it out there, because it's not enough just to create the course and say, hey, okay, open for purchase, right? And have all the floodgates open. So a couple of different tips for you actually launching your course, getting the news out there is, one, don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait until the course is created and everything's finalized for that to be the first time that your audience is hearing about the course. I really recommend going through a launch process where you are teasing them, where you are continually collecting leads months leading up to the course being released, where you're telling people about the course, maybe even showing them the behind the scenes process, getting that validation, getting your audience ready so that they know and they are excited for the course coming. You also want to utilize content leading up to your course being released to start speaking to your audience, speaking to all of that market research that you did, so that your audience is already thinking about, ooh, yes, you know what, she's right, I do have X, Y, and Z problem and I want to solve this. And that's what our content can do for us when we use an effective marketing and launch strategy to make your course launch super successful, and you'll continue to put those same marketing tactics in action to continually fuel, again, the cycle of getting leads, getting them in, getting them to purchase, getting them to love it and have a great experience, and the cycle goes on. And the last piece of the puzzle of you really adding passive income into your income stream with a course like this is brand awareness. So like I mentioned in the beginning, all of the marketing that you're doing is helping increase brand awareness. So brand awareness is something that's going to help build up over time, and the longer amount of time that you're consistently marketing it and the more visibility that you have, the more brand awareness you're going to build. But this trust and this word of mouth, the experience that people have tied to your brand, and I'm talking about the brand of your course, not just you, right? That is all going to contribute to this becoming the go-to product for people to come to behind the scenes, so that yes, you can be on the beach sipping a cocktail and see a Stripe notification come in for your course. So if you are ready to create a course and add passive income into your offer, this is such an amazing way to continue to grow your business, to continue to get to share your knowledge and serve many people. But don't expect the course to solve all of your problems and make you a millionaire overnight. This is, however, an amazing way that we bring income into my business with multiple courses and programs that we are continually building brand awareness, bringing in leads for, and making money from. This is also something that I help a lot of my clients with at higher levels continue to expand their business through funnels and courses and passive income. So I'm super excited to hear all of the amazing courses and digital products that you guys are going to create. I'd love for you to comment below and tell me what your course idea is, and I will comment back and give you a little piece of feedback so that I can hear all of the amazing courses you guys are going to create for your audience. As I will tell you, while there is definitely some work that goes into course creation, it's super, super fun to be able to create this and serve this and be able to see people get the transformations that you achieve. Some courses that I have, if you're curious and want to kind of go start to look at some examples, are my Instagram course, which you can see right here. I also have a mini course, which is about content creation. And I also have a course that is actually run as a live program, which is my signature program, Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. So you can go check out any of these pages below for more information about these, and you can see how some of these courses are built and marketed and facilitated. If you guys love this video, thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps us be able to create all of this amazing content for you here on YouTube. You can also check out some of the other videos on the side here about all things entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, and digital nomad lifestyle. And I will see you guys in the next video.